Okay, so here is the code that we had before. I changed a little bit the architecture. So before we had to present, to use the idea, like here and here, we couldn't just use a cache volume or a directory. We had to use the ID and then reuse them here as get the ID to use with mounted cache. Now it's not necessary. We can just skip this, and we can just use it directly. What other things did we improve? Exec became deprecated, so we used the with exec, which goes more with these kind of functions that don't actually execute anything. So that's why exec was kind of confusing. So with exec, we'll just create an execution step that will be executed when needed. And I think, oh, and this was a big one. For some functions, we had, they were like a positional argument. And so if you just wanted to put an option here, you had to put undefined in front of it, which was not very practical. So we decided to make them completely optionals. And so we can just, and also here we don't know what it is. We don't know exactly the name and stuff. So since it's optional, we can actually present it. We can actually select, name it. So this was the previous version of the code. I'm going to switch to the other branch, which was just today. No, where are you? Yeah. Sorry, I can't. Oh, yeah, because I'm looking at tags. All right, this is what I want. I want this tag, and so now we, I put it in CI. It's the same script, and so oh, also directory. I used work there, and it's been replaced by directory this. I mean, with a dot instead. So the other one has been deprecated, and here. Remember with the undefined here where I had to specify an undefined, now it's just like an object, and we can say like, oh yeah, I want just a platform option, and I'm going to specify here. So for those who were not there before for the first demo, so I load my directory. I exclude the gitignore, the node modules, because this is just important for the build, but not for my app. I created like a cache volume. Then I did build on multiple arches. I didn't activate this one. I could, but it's not that important. It works. Last time we just made it work, but it's just like it takes a longer time with QEMU, with QEMU. And so then for all the arches and for all the OSs here, it doesn't make sense because like we're just Linux, but like here at least we could like go in different architecture. We will create an image from the right architecture. Then I would get the dependencies, which are, because it's my app, it's a Go app that needs CGO and actual shared objects, or DLL. It's a game engine, so it needs like OpenGL and OpenAL for the audio and all of that. And then the actual build builds on, I mean, gets everything from depths. Then we add the cache, so we don't have to download all those dependency from Go. Then we set the Go mode cache so it is actually used because it's in /cache. We mount the directory, our source directory that we define right here. Then we decide that the working directory would be in the app/cmd/grid3d. Then we set the both and variable. Here it doesn't make sense because we're going to build on the right OS. Before I had a demo that actually cross-build like a CLI, which didn't need all those dependency to be in the right, compiled for the right architecture. But they're here anyway. By default, it would be the right one. Then we build, we set the build step. And then this is where since it's a 3D app, it needs like images, assets. Here I put the images in the right directory so I can execute. And then here I get the shaders that I also export in the same directory. So then when I execute my app afterwards, it will be in the right directory. And then finally, I build the grid3d file that we built here, and I export it to the same directory as the other. And I activated the option to see what's happening here. So let's go. I'm gonna run ESM this. So this is the thing. Since we're in TypeScript, we need to load this, and let's go. I mean, I just run it before, so it should just use the cache. It's going to be quick, and also it's AMD 64. So at least the build is on the right architecture, so no need for QEMU. I don't know the name. It seems everybody called it QEMU, so I'm not used to that pronunciation. All right, it's done. So everything is in build, and there was a previous ARM64 build because I didn't remove them. Let's just do that, and let's build again. Again, since we cached everything, it should go fast. All right, and so now I'm going to go in this build directory. One level. Here I have my vertex shader, my fragment shader, and all my image assets. So now I can just call this app and it should just work. And we have our hello world on a texture in 3D. So that is that.